guess we'll start.
We still don't care. Anytime, anywhere.
And now, the World Tag Team Champions. Cock back the hammer, watch me lay them down. Saw face the villains, we don't play around. Nobody make a sound. Oh! Grab your women and children and get the safer ground. The King's gonna get Jamaican town. Futuristic flow, dark start with a laser sound. Leaving nothing but a vapor trail. And my bass heavyweight, no shake, I'ma break the scale.
Inspector, we have followed your instructions to the letter.
Let me just cut to the chase. You have a bucket of weight.
Hello. Welcome to the WrestleCollective Weekly podcast. I am Slick Flair, Jordan Carter. Of course, here every Thursday, never alone, always with my collective crew. Hannibal, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Spring has finally arrived. I've been able to put the coat in the cupboard, and I'm wearing the gilet, so it's all good. Hopefully, that is it for the winter now. There's
The
gonna
what?
be no the winter.
No.
You know,
The gilet?
gilet, yeah. You know, your body warmer.
We're always learning new
Never
British things here at the Collective. The Collective is worldwide.
And in the chat, if you want to let us know, have you got a pen license? And if so, when did you get it?
Please. I just learned what a pin license is. So if you are British and have a pin license, please tell me about it.
Yeah.
Big Graps, Ryan, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Realized I gotta go get my pen license now to make Hannibal happy. But besides that, you know, smooth sailing coming off of Dynamite that we'll get to later. Yeah, it's a good week.
Good week. A definitely great week indeed, because these last two gentlemen I was just with. Grumpy, my showmate, my magnum to my turbo. How you doing, dog?
Man, we came off such a great weekend. I had such a great time meeting up with you guys, going to Revolution. You know, anytime we go to a live AEW show, it's amazing. But this is my second time being live for a pay-per-view. And holy crap, do they always deliver on the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So I had one of the greatest weekends. So really happy about that.
Really
Really
was.
happy we got to do that.
I finally got to meet the man, the myth, the legend, the advocate of Enochiism.
Hi, I didn't see you guys there, but I did see Slick and Grumpy at Revolution. And I made this sweet custom shirt.
Yes, it was so dope.
It's my brand.
Yes.
But no, I had such a fun time hanging out with you guys. It was a blast. We got to see Soto and JJ and Grumpy's daughter, who was super cool, and then like my IRL friends. It was the most fun I've ever had at a show, man. I can't even lie.
Speaking of Soto, too,
You're not overcharging for that shirt at the merch stand, right?
Oh no, it's not
About the
$40.
This is one of a kind, bro.
It's one of one.
You have to take it off
One
my
of one.
fucking corpse.
Speaking of Soto, we will be having Soto on later because Soto pulled up on us as well at Revolution. The Collective was in full force at Revolution. We'll be talking about our Revolution experience and kind of a rundown what we thought about Revolution later on in the show. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in every Thursday like you do. We have seen the subscriber count start to jump. We've seen the follower count start to jump on X. And I just want to say we thank you, appreciate you guys. So once again, please make sure to like, subscribe, bang that notification bell so as you know when we go live. So once again, thank you everybody in the comments as well. And if you're watching this on X, please make sure if you want to come on over to YouTube, type it in the comments. We don't do super chats here. So all the chats that you see on screen, that could be you. So you're more than welcome to ask us a question.
Not if I had my way with it.
Ask us a question, interact with the collective. That is one of the best ways to do it is on here on YouTube in those comments. So please, again, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. But as we go on, we did not have it last week. And so it's back this week. And that is This Week in Wrestling History. Advocate, what happened this week in wrestling history?
This week in wrestling history. We're going to learn about some shit.
Love
Actually, today is more like today in wrestling history because all of the events happened on March 19th. For our first This Week in Wrestling History, March 19th, 1943, the legendary luchador El Santo won his first of 4 Mexican national middleweight championships. Y'all know El Santo. Like this was the mask that you were wearing last week.
That's the mask. Yeah. That's my. I'm a big.
I wanted you to keep
I forgot. I know. I forgot to take it. Yeah. You got to mail it to me for sure. Because I'm a big El Santo. But you know why? Because he famously never took off his mask.
Yeah, I believe he took it off on a late night TV show days before he died.
Yeah.
Showed
it was his last public appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's literally his last public appearance, and he was one of the spirits of luchadors, which is I love that you brought that up because I just saw the interview for Claudio, which by the way, Claudio signed a dual contract for CMLL, and he talked about the importance of him wearing the mask and whatnot. And so that's really cool that you brought up. But we got El Santo This Week in Wrestling History.
Well, equally as cool on March 19th, 1995. At the WCW pay-per-view Uncensored, we had the King of the Road match between Dusty Rhodes and Barry Darsow as the Blacktop Bully. This was a match that took place in the back of an 18-wheeler truck.
No, they didn't.
By chicken wire.
Yeah, Grumpy, are you not? You don't know about this? This match?
I've not seen this.
Oh, I gotta show it to you.
You know what?
People hate it, but I think it's a great
you know what? I'm not gonna lie. That's something, and shout out my man Juice. He's probably watching. That's something that we should have Juice on to watch with because I'm telling you, it's super innovative. They're just brawling, and it's a lot of it is like
that coffin match last night. There's a lot of great ideas in it. In execution, it probably doesn't work that well.
Right. Like the way when you talk about something and it sounds so good, and you actually do it, it's like, that's very much.
It was a lot better than when they used the OJ Bronco chase. So.
That was Piper and Goldust, right?
Yeah, I disagree. Yeah. But I mean, the one thing that I'll always give WCW credit for is they would just literally throw shit at a wall and see what stuck. Because, there's the RoboCop appearance at Capital Carnage. There's the, when Chucky invaded Nitro for the Bride of Chucky movie coming out. There's Oz, the whole gimmick around Oz, just incredible. There was so much insane shit that they did in WCW that they were special. Not always for the right reasons.
Well, speaking of WCW, our last March 19th, this day in wrestling history, March 19th, 2000, at another WCW Uncensored, 5 years to the day that they had it. The first time, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, the Yappa Pie.
I was about to say, is this the Yappa Pie strap match?
This is the Yappa Pie strap match.
Oh, God. So I've always wondered what makes it a strap match and then what makes it a Yappa Pie strap match.
Nothing.
The brand of strap.
Yeah, the brand.
You know what? I kind of because
It's a sponsorship, brother.
because he's a good friend. Like I kind of want to call Juice right now, literally live on air, and ask him what's the difference. What
Shoot him a text. Maybe we'll get an
is,
update during the show.
What is the difference between a strap match and a Yappa Pie strap match?
Listen, he might be watching. He might just text you like as he's watching.
Yeah. I'm hoping so. I'm about to because I've literally like I'm not joking, you guys. I've always wondered what is the difference between a strap match and a Yappa Pie strap match. Like
I never heard the term Yappa Pie
until tell you absolutely nothing.
For $1.
For $1.
Yeah.
Name a strap match.
But I'm being so serious. I didn't know. I've never heard of the word Yappa Pie until Advocate texted me what the segments for this week in wrestling history. That was the first.
You're such like a meme
I thought
guy.
it was called
I figured
Yappa.
This used to be like a big meme back in the day. The
Yappa
Pie.
Yeah, Yappa Pie strap. Like, yeah,
Listen, I might have been there to watch it, but it was before I was born. So I thought it was Yapappy. So
no, you're Pappy.
Yeah. Don't you ever talk about my Pappy again.
You can talk about my Pappy.
Yeah, Nigel Toad in the hole.
That is hilarious. Well, shout out to the Yappa Pie strap match. That may be again something that we're gonna have maybe have Juice on to watch with us as he is the WCW aficionado around.
I would love to have like the trial of Juice Springsteen where we show him all of the worst of WCW and we have to make it and be like it's good actually because.
Can I also, just because we mentioned their name a few times, if anybody from the Yappa Pie Corporation is listening and wants to sponsor the show,
please
contact us.
We will take any sponsorship money.
Yes, at WrestleCollective@gmail.com, please. You can always hit us up. That for anybody who's listening, for any sponsorship, please contact
we've been waiting to sell.
I don't know about anybody. We have standards.
We don't. Don't listen to him.
No.
Have none. Arms companies. We don't care. We'll sell it.
Collective Weekly, brought to you by Lockheed Martin.
Also, just because this literally just came in, and I'm just going to say this right now, before we get into some, I am officially confirmed for WrestleCon. I will be at WrestleCon as well as Mania. So the collective team and the No Dirt team will be making its presence known. What's up, Animal?
Right, just say the first bit again. You're confirmed for WrestleCon.
As I don't have a panel or nothing. Whoa.
Hey, you're the one that said it. This is what I'm trying to do.
Jordan, Salcedo, Sean Ross,
autographs.
Yeah. I'm chumming up with those guys. No, absolutely not. No, I will be attending. Thank you, Hannibal. I will be attending WrestleCon. So if you're there, let's let's shoot the breeze.
$5.
Hey, look, I'm just saying it right now. If Jordan did have a table, if Jordan did have a table at WrestleCon, who would have more people at it? Him or John Laurinaitis? That's what I'm saying.
I feel like I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like John. I you know what? I'd be at John Laurinaitis' table because I got a lot of questions.
That makes what? Oh, questions. Okay. I was so concerned.
A lot of questions.
Hang on, just
because y'all ever seen that meme of what he do to make them niggas so mad? I want to know what did Blue Meanie do to make you so mad?
Oh, I think
you're thinking John Layfield
with JBL.
You confused. We're talking Johnny Ace.
John Laurinaitis. You're right. That's John. This is John Laurinaitis. Right. I forgot. Yeah. Right. Okay.
There was another reason why I said it. Did you see this? Did you see the AI picture that he released of him doing a signing?
I like how that's a meme now.
No,
and everybody's just doing it. Yeah, like he's like, here I am at my signing with a bunch of fans. It's all AI fans. John from New York did it. I've seen a bunch of people doing it.
I can't believe AI robbed us of the sequel to that one Virgil convention picture where there's no one at his booth.
Dog, AI can't recreate them days. Y'all wasn't in the early IWC streets where
Virgil days, bro. That was a real hustler.
that was a real. Y'all wasn't
That was a
around
real
for them
one,
days, man.
Get $5.
Man. But as we continue on, let's open up the week with the news and rumblings as it's happened. Like I said, we're going to talk about our Revolution experience because 3 of us were there. We're going to bring up a 4th person who was there as well. That's Soto. We appreciate Soto and the patience. So we're going to get through this once again. So as the week goes on, let's talk about Raw. Some of the main things that happened on Raw. One of the biggest things that happened on Raw for myself, I saw was Oba Femi Brock Lesnar. Good God. Bully Ray, he's got me blocked, and I don't really like the guy, but he did say, and I got to agree with him, that's how you make a motherfucker. That's how you make a motherfucker.
Broken
right
clock
there.
can be right twice a day.
True, absolutely. I ain't even finna lie to you. When what's that meme when you're the worst person you know is right?
Yeah, makes a great point.
That's a great point. He did, because that was, I will say, for Brock, that was a great way to, he sold for him, got up there for him. I mean, Oba had the strength to kind of, because it was a pop-up and he caught him. It was a 100% star-making moment. Well, I said it early on No Dirt Just Dialogue with Juice and myself and Andrew. I feel like Oba should come out and say that I'm the next big thing. You were the next big thing, but I am the next big thing. Something like that. I think it was a star-making moment. Ryan, I'll start with you. What did you think off with that moment with Oba and him full on answering the challenge? We have Oba versus Brock WrestleMania.
So I think you guys know how I feel about Brock being used on television. I'm not the biggest fan of seeing him, but if you're going to have him on television, right, you should have him put people over. And I think the way that, once again, not a fan of Brock, don't think he should be on television, not even for the outside reasons, but for the fact that I think he's more sort of past his expiry date as a, box office draw and a really big professional wrestler.
Only the outside reasons. I agree with that. But the inside reasons, no, that's crazy talk.
Did you not see some of his past bashes? That man is gassed, brother. But he's here to put over Oba. He's here to make the new next big thing. He's here to be, hey, this is your new main event guy. I had that big win at Taker beating the streak. He's going to have that big win beating me at WrestleMania in his first outing, in his first pay-per-view match. It makes sense, unfortunately. Is the match going to be good? Who knows? That's not really the point of this. The point of this is your new big motherfucker that you need to watch for on programming. And it's Oba Femi.
So, I mean, I think he's got a interview with Stephanie McMahon coming up.
It's already released.
It's already released? Okay, yeah. I saw them doing the strut. He's a star. He's a star, man. I want to go to you, Advocate. You're not the biggest WWE guy, but you watch.
I'm a big Oba guy. I love this guy, bro. I was like, yo, put the world title on him. I'll watch. I don't care which one. Have him beat up wimpy ass Cody Rhodes, dusty ass CM Punk, bro. Like, look at this. How can this guy not be your world champion? Him and Gunther, man, that's gonna feed families.
Do you want that Mania 37 finish where he double stacks him?
Yeah, bro. Oh, that's so good. I love that. You're redeemed.
You're redeemed. Grumpy, tell me, you saw. I'm pretty sure you saw the clip. You saw the moment.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
I'll say it's one thing for Brock to take the powerbomb. It's one thing for Brock to lay down with Oba standing over him. It's like an entirely another step farther for him to let Oba stomp on him and stand over him with his foot on his chest while he points at the WrestleMania sign. So that's like extremely giving back, more than I ever thought Brock was even possible. So all those things combined made for a great moment, and it's really nice to see that somebody out there sees what we see in Oba inside that company as well. So that's what I'll say about that.
Hannibal?
Hang on a second. Oh yeah. Sorry, I could just hear the rain on your parade just then. Look, I think he's great. I've got no problem with that, and I thought the actual segment was good. It is how you build somebody up to look like a big deal. The problem is what happens next. Because if they do the right thing and they give him a showcase at Mania, it makes him a star. If Brock goes over, he'll still be a star. I don't think he will lose the luster that's been gained already, but it's going to be a blow. And it's going to Brock look very selfish. And he has that mentality where, I'm the star. I kind of say what happens. He's had that thrown at him in the past. So if he's going to play ball and if he's going to, do the right thing for the business, then this is all going to be great. If he doesn't, I'm just concerned that it's going to be that he doesn't. And that's my worry. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because we need to make stars.
Because when you say that, it kind of reminds me of the Keith Lee interaction that won Rumble, right? Is Brock going to is he going to lose? Is he going to do the job? I will put it to you like this. I think regardless, right now, considering what's happened with Oba, having him rub shoulders with Cody on Cena's last show, now working with Brock, I think they have a tremendous amount of trust and they see the potential that is Oba Femi. So therefore, I think I don't want him to lose. I think it would be the wrong call if he were to. I think he could, depending on what that night after Mania looks like, I think he could possibly survive. Because maybe he is he comes back and retires him at SummerSlam.
This comes his gimmick.
It's not his gimmick though. Yeah.
People sometimes miss too. Sometimes it's like the Streisand effect. It could do him more benefit by losing this match and letting the fans become enraged and get behind him. I'm that is a riskier move because then the fans, they could become disinterested. But I think that this guy has shown the personality, Oba Femi, that even if he did lose this match to Brock, I think it would be, the fans would be enraged and it might push him to be an even bigger star.
Is that what the Streisand effect is? I thought the Streisand effect was very different.
It's not really the Streisand effect, but the idea of trying to hide something and therefore bringing more light to it. That was the correlation.
Because that's what really propelled Danielson, if you really think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ryan.
So another, something that kind of came out of Raw, and that's we had I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I was reading something. The Punk in Roman, that promo, right? And they saying the streets is kind of saying that Punk little bro Roman, they're saying that was probably one of Roman's not so greater promos and whatnot. I want to see what you guys thought. I didn't really. I'll put it to you like this. I want to see what you guys think about the segment, but I'm no longer being sold on the I was sold that I hate you, but the more these guys are talking, the less action I'm seeing, and the more they're just talking to their devices. Because honestly, to me, Punk's a great promo when he's got a good foil. When he's got an opponent that is kind of like this, where he's gonna like this. Very much reminds me of Mania with Taker. That's what this feels like. We're okay, yeah, Punk's in it, but you don't feel like Punk's gonna win, and Punk don't even feel like Punk's gonna win. So we're just doing
Punk
it.
should. That's
he
sort of the idea.
So that's what you think Punk should beat Roman. I'll start with you. You think Punk should beat Roman, and how did you? And how did you feel about this past week's promo?
So the reason I think Punk should beat Roman is I'm very anti part-time champion, especially when it's your top title. I felt this way about Brock. I felt this way about like that last year of Roman's, that 1,000-day title reign. Like I'm very anti part-time champion. I want my champion to be around the whole calendar year so that they can be in programs to defend their belt, so that they can draw me money. In terms of the segment last night, I think the wrong man got physical. With the way that it was laid out in terms of Punk stopping Roman at the ring and then stopping him as he's about to get out.
Yeah.
I think
you should be stopping the champion. The champion shouldn't be stopping you.
I think I'll say this, right? Show restraint on the first time, sure, but he stops you that second time, he's right by the steps, you throw his head into the steps. I think that's how you make that's I think a better way to prove the point of Punk's in Roman's head. You still keep Roman looking strong, because I think that was the weakest Roman has looked in a segment since. You remember the infamous segment with Cena in the lead up to No Mercy in 2017, where Cena's like, "It's a promo, kid. You got to learn how to cut one." This felt like the weakest Roman has looked since then, because of that.
Hannibal, I'll go to you.
I didn't think it was very good, and I think the problem you've got, and we saw this last year as well with Cena and Cody. When you start the build so early, and you insist on doing the same thing week after week, which is like another promo segment, it will normally reach its peak before it should do, which means that every time you then repeat it, it's diminishing returns. And I feel that's where we're at now. I mean, everything that was said and the thing that tipped Punk over the edge was getting called old, because he is. Like, I just don't think he did any of them any favors. And I really feel the more this carries on, the worse it's going to get, because every week it's going to feel less and less important. And think about where Roman was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, compared to where he is now. He does not feel like the star that he was. I appreciate things change and everything like that, but do you know what I mean? Like, at this moment in time, you've got two of arguably the biggest names, if not the biggest names, in wrestling in the last 5-6 years, and just don't care. Just don't care about it.
Well, I'll go to some of the guys that don't. I know what Advocate's going to say.
Put the belt on Roman, baby. I don't care about none of that. Oh, he's part-time, blah, blah. They already had 2 world championships. I don't see what the big deal is. Just have Roman come and defend his belt on the big events. I saw this segment. Felt wonky to me. Again, I do think that this does not play to Roman Reigns' strengths. Seems like he tends to play better to more less direct promos and more of the vignettes and the sort of like the other people working around him. Whereas in this, in a promo battle against CM Punk, he doesn't feel as effective. And it also feels beneath him to be doing he's like, I'm Roman Reigns. Why am I standing in the ring talking to you like some sort of chump? I don't know. All I know is that they need to put the belt back on him, get that thing off of CM Punk. Please, we're over it.
But to your point about how he's portrayed, a big issue with that is he's babyface. So if he were to be this is beneath me, you're not necessarily positioning him as a babyface. I think that
you're too, and not you necessarily, maybe the WWE. Maybe they're too married to the idea of this is what are things that are circumstantial. In this moment, he's doing the heel thing because that's what's going to get him what he wants, like Mox did at Revolution against Takeshita. I'm why can't heels and faces be more fluid?
Because it's what they train their audience on.
Yeah, I was about to say conditioning, brother. That's a whole nother,
I mean, I don't know. Though.
Pavlov dog, brother.
Look at all of the gray area during the Attitude Era, which people pine for so much.
But I don't. That gray area came with in a different time where, like, you everybody wasn't so connected. To the curtain wasn't so pulled back. So I think it changes a lot of things. Like, we know why we don't see Roman so much because we know he's part-time versus, if we didn't see somebody for a while, we just didn't see him for a while. Grumpy, I want to go to you though. I know you, again, this isn't your biggest cup of tea, but
this is exactly the reason why it's not my biggest cup of tea, and I'll lay it out real fast. I just looked up how far away WrestleMania is. It's another 4 goddamn weeks away. I've been kind of following CM Punk and Roman and this kind of back and forth promo feud that they've been having, and it feels like that's already been going on for a month and a half. So you're going to tell me we're going to have 2.5 months of nothing but promos? Yeah, he jumped him. Yeah, they get a little physical, but neither of them going to wrestle a match? Have either of them wrestled a match since the Rumble? And they probably won't until WrestleMania. 2.5 months without
Punk
them.
wrestled at the Chamber.
Okay, so Punk wrestled at the Chamber because he was the champion. All right, fair enough. Roman has not laced up the boots since the Rumble, and he's probably not gonna until Mania. This is exactly my problem. Is I don't have the patience for these just talk segments. I can take a couple of talking segments. Max MJF, Maxwell Jacob Funk already stretches my patience with the talking segments sometimes, and that's just the way that I'm wired. My eyes start to glaze over if there's not action going on. That's just me, and I know there's other people who don't feel that way, so that's fine. I'll take that. If I were watching, I'm out. I'm out of this Punk Roman thing. Like I was kind of interested when Roman won and he would be facing Punk because there's a lot of backstory there. There's a lot of history there.
I hate you. I was really drawn in.
Like, that was like the pinnacle. That was the peak of it. And Hannibal said it's been diminishing returns ever since, and he's right. And we have another month to go of this decline to when the bell finally rings. They're gonna have said everything, and they're gonna have done everything, and all the match is gonna be a formality of just ending this slow, torturous affair.
It's also like it's not just this that's diminishing returns. We also saw Cody Rhodes get turned on by Randy Orton, right?
Again.
Not only is it again, but it's now the second or third Mania in a year.
It's the third Mania in a row, and I made a point earlier, and shout out to the dudes who come to No Dirt, Just Dialogue, to just purely hate on me. Thank you for hitting that notification bell, because I was getting crap earlier for saying that they are creatively they've done the same thing with Cody. Cody just I pulled out of that story. I believe it was on this Raw where Randy, there's more than one wrestling family. There was only more than one royal family.
Like 480.
Yeah.
Right. How many times do we have to see Cody get turned on? How many times do we have to see him bleed on the right?
It's like,
but he's bleeding. They don't do that in WWE except for Mania season with Cody.
I could watch Rock beat him with a belt all day long. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure, but the best is still the original best.
What's this, Mama Rhodes?
Number one track on my
beyond
playlist.
bleeding. Beyond bleeding, and I know we're flip flopping around, but we're on our WWE section of the show, guys. So appreciate you guys.
Government mandated WWE section.
Hey. We here for the streets, man. We here for the people. The people want to hear it all. No, the Cody Randy thing, I'm a little bit getting disinterested in that because it was just so. You could see it coming, and then not only could you see it coming, it's just how many times when is this story going to be finished? What is the story of Cody? Is it him being a dummy and always?
Yes.
So he's Sting?
It's Sting syndrome.
Yeah, he is. No,
I mean, he's got the blonde hair.
He's Sting. Like that's his whole. This was the same problem Sting had as a babyface until he did the Crow gimmick. Was that he was a sucker and always got caught.
But there is no Crow gimmick coming.
There's
Cody's not dyeing his hair.
And that's the problem. There is no heel turn. There is no. One of the greatest things that I'll say, one of the greatest things AJ Styles ever did for his career was turn heel early in his career. He showed the ability that he can do it, that he was just as good as a heel or he's just as good as a face. But if you ask anybody, they don't ever talk about AJ Styles' face or heel alignment because he was so good at both, it didn't really matter. Cody.
But Cody's been heel, and he's been good at it. It's just since he joined AEW in 2019, there has been this refusal for him to turn because he worked heel in Ring of Honor. That first WWE run, he was dashing Cody Rhodes as a heel, undashing Cody as a heel. Stardust, he was a heel. Like he's shown the ability.
All that stuff
make
bad.
it work.
I just want to pull this comment back up, okay? If I can. Where is it? Oh, there. No. What's going on? Not that one.
Thank you, Grumpy.
Right. This one here. Cody wishes he was as cool as Sting. That could have ended. That sentence could have ended 2 words earlier.
Cody wishes he was cool.
Because he's not.
He wishes he was cool.
Right. Cody is the epitome of Steve Buscemi, hello, fellow young kids. Like,
hello.
Right. Cody was cool, right? There was a period in time when Cody was cool. That train sailed a long, long time ago. That's gone. That train has rushed through the station. Like, Cody is not cool anymore. He's not.
But you know what I just realized? History has repeated itself. Not just with Cody, but with WWE. Because Cody Rhodes, as a full-time act, you would say is the company's top babyface, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he is once again, for the first time since, I would say this started at Mania last year, but since his AEW run in 21, where he is now a polarizing wrestler, he's getting routine mixed reactions. Like he says, like, sometimes I get in away games now. Who was their last top act who was positioned as their top babyface who routinely got mixed reactions and sometimes get booed out of the building? John Cena. They have another problem.
Well, yeah, that's. But what?
Roman just got straight up.
Well, but
what's funny though?
Go ahead.
Right at Cody's tail end of AEW, he cut that promo where he says, "I will never turn heel." Da 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 da. Basically, giving the finger to the fans for saying you should turn heel. Ironically, that was a pretty good heel moment, and that would have been a great jumping off point for a heel arc of I'm the hero you deserve, I'm the hero you need, you just don't know it yet. And that would be a great
Codelander.
Well, exactly. Yes, Codelander. That's what I always call it. It didn't work out. He has plans to go to WWE. That's fine. They could still do that in WWE, and they could make it great. I wish they would. I wish somebody would get in his ear and just, whether it's his decision or whether it's somebody else's decision, I don't know. You got to get in somebody's ear and say, look, there is money to be made with you just being the sanctimonious superhero who thinks you're untouchable and talks down to everybody.
There's a lot of money to be made.
And he can still, he doesn't have to do anything. I don't know. I've heard stories that he doesn't want to be heel because he wants to be a politician. Exactly. He's a heel in all but name.
Let the mask slip. Be like, this is an act. That's why I always think he's a heel. Is because the person that he portrays on TV. I don't know what the real Cody's like.
Right.
But this person who's on TV, I don't believe it. I never have.
So, it's not a very big leap to make for him to just flip a switch and be. He's the sanctimonious face Cody is not a very far leap from the sanctimonious heel Cody, and you could do it, and it would be fun to watch. And I might actually watch.
You just turn up certain notches of the character and turn other ones down.
Yeah.
With this, Mania is 4 weeks away. Are you guys again any closer interested in Mania after watching this week.
I mean, I got to watch regardless for this, but am I excited about it? Not really.
Like this,
and I think
this is one of those that
ties
doesn't
back
feel
to,
like Mania. Like this don't feel
and Jordan,
monumental.
you know what I think one of the big problems is as to why I'm not excited? And this is kind of what we were just talking about with their inability to create this top baby face, is that they, 316 day just happened this week, right? They had all the 316 discount codes for this, that, and the third. WWE hasn't had a top baby face that the fans haven't turned on since Stone Cold. And you can clip that because it's true. The last top baby face that company had that fans didn't turn on was Stone Cold. And I think until they find one that does, it's going to be situations like this that keep popping up.
I don't think that they'll ever. That was lightning in a bottle that'll never be caught ever again.
I don't even think it's just the lightning in the bottle. I think it's also a reflection on the actual audience nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
How I was seeing someone complain the other day that there's no heels in wrestling because heels get cheered as well, and that's something. And I hate to pinpoint exactly who it was, but it's Triple H. This is a Triple H thing. This is something that he introduced where, I'm going to be the cool bad guy. So you're going to cheer for me as well as boo me.
Mm-hmm.
And that mentality has carried through from, that ruthless aggression era, the end of the Attitude Era, into the ruthless aggression era, right into today. It still happens today.
Do
you think it's a fundamentally flawed mentality?
Do I think it's a fundamentally flawed mentality? Yes, I do. I also think, though, that it's because people want to get themselves over. We've all been to a wrestling show where you've had some dickhead in the crowd that is more interested in trying to get themselves over than, the wrestling going on in the ring, right? And I think there's a lot of that at play as well. So I think it's a wrestling fandom issue as much as anything else. But you got to remember, there's a whole generation where this is the wrestling they've grown up with, right? Some of us at least, we were there when Hogan was still on top, and you missed the Perfects and the Undertakers, and then going through to the Attitude Era into the ruthless aggression. Some people only know one type of wrestling, especially if it's WWE, and so that is their frame of reference. Why do we still get people at Dynamite shows when people are cutting promos going, what, 26 years on? Because that's what those people have grown up with. So, I think it's more an indictment into wrestling fans as much as the product itself. But it's also your job as, the booker, the talent agent, the talent themselves, to change that narrative. You don't have you can be the change. I just think people take the easy way out.
I would push back against that a little bit because, like I said earlier, I don't think that it needs to be so binary or black and white. Like if we look at like UFC for an example, somebody like a Conor McGregor, who is polarizing, who a lot of people hate, but also has a lot of fans. I don't see how this is any different for pro wrestling. It's like, oh yes, they are the bad guy in the storyline, but they still have an audience who identify with them and like root for them, regardless of the fact whether they're good or evil.
But you shouldn't. That's the thing. Like when you had Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker, even the people who didn't like Hulk Hogan weren't really cheering for The Undertaker to win because The Undertaker was scary and it was something you hadn't seen before. He was a bad guy. You still booed him, even if he was beating up the person you didn't like. Now there's none of that. MJF is cheered as much as a heel as he is a face, or pretty consistent, is what I'm saying. And that's the thing.
And that's something with MJF too that I was thinking about, and I think you made a great segue. And I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go for it.
One of the great things about MJF is, and I think about his match with Bandito, right? Bandito didn't necessarily come out to a roaring ovation, and there were some cheers for MJF, but he engaged with the audience in a way that anyone who was cheering him booed him. And it's like, all right, we're right back on assignment. We're right how we want this to be. So maybe that's something more for the people who want to be the cool heel. Sort of follow that example. Where if you're getting cheers and you're not supposed to be getting cheers, course correct.
Remember your job, remember your character. People don't do it.
You're paid to make a Big Mac, don't make a quarter pounder.
One job of one character we also saw
Safeway.
Becky Lynch. Looks like we're gonna get Becky Lynch and AJ Lee again for the title at Mania. I mean, I'm semi interested. They didn't really sell me the first go around, so we'll have to. Granted, it wasn't a one-on-one, or no, they did have the one-on-one. Excuse me.
Yeah, that chamber.
Yeah, that chamber. Excuse me, they did. So, but we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. And I believe also, wasn't there another Vision spot this week? I can't remember. No, I don't think there was.
I think there was a backstage. Well, hold on. This is how much the product is sinking in, y'all. We're trying to figure this out.
Raw wasn't that great. So just give you a preview for me. Raw wasn't that great. Dynamite wasn't either. So, but
yeah, Dynamite was a little bit lackluster. I thought.
I mean, it's the post pay-per-view Dynamite.
Yeah.
Also, it had a big. I think somebody had tweeted that they were like, "This has big. A bunch of wrestlers aren't cleared to wrestle energy."
Yeah.
That's a lot of
post pay-per-view Dynamites, yeah.
Because oh god, everyone just went through the barbed wire, the tacks, the glass, this, that, and the third. Who's healthy?
I did say this to Jordan last night that I think that's the reason why it's like it is and why there's only like 3 matches booked. But yeah, I mean, people see us as being AEW Shields, and we're going to look like AEW Shields in a minute when we talk about the pay-per-view. But you've got to be honest. And I wouldn't say it was a bad episode of Dynamite.
Definitely wasn't the worst.
But it wasn't. But
2023 exists.
It was. But it was. I would be loath to say it was good. Like, I thought the matches were good and I thought the promos were good, but the whole thing just felt off. It just didn't feel like...
It didn't feel,
No.
But, well, before we get into Dynamite, really quickly, I do want to touch on something. It was a bit of a Twitter subject, and it has something to do with one of the All Elite talents. And this is something I kind of want to bring up. So as you guys probably know, Ricochet had an interaction with the fan to keep without getting into details, because I've talked about this already. He said something out of line, out of pocket, and I'll go ahead and say it right now. And producer man, can I get a solo? This is the one solo I'll ask for here. Here we at the WrestleCollective do not condone any sort of speech, any sort of hate speech that is anything like that. Our views and opinions, as we are a collective, we're still individuals. That being said, I feel like I can speak for most of us here, if not all of us, that we do not condone that type of language. Now, do we feel and have a certain opinions one way or another? Absolutely, just as anybody else does. But we are not by any means saying that anybody should just say anything. You have a responsibility, and especially a larger responsibility when you have a platform. And so therefore, I believe, we believe that I could say that Ricochet misused his platform. We can go back down now. Ricochet misused his platform. And I think that is the short and the long of it, is that Ricochet, in reaction to what was being said, though, one doesn't outweigh the other. I believe he misused his platform. Now, what I want to bring to you fellas, and you guys can say what you want to say about, what he said, but I want to bring to you guys the larger part of the conversation I believe people are kind of skipping over, and that's how wrestling media matters only when it decides to matter. a few weeks ago, Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp and guys like that are just dirt sheet slingers. These guys don't matter. Who cares? And now all of a sudden it's they didn't make that front page news. That's not on a Fightful Select. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, what? This is stupid. Like, so now all of a sudden they're distinguished, journalists. I thought they were just, basement dwellers, and things like that. So I will pass it off. I want to go to you, Hannibal. I'll start with you, and I want to see what you guys have to say on that. And then, of course, like I said, I want to appreciate everybody for liking, subscribing, tuning in. We still got Soto coming up, about to be talking about our Revolution experience. But yes, Hannibal, go ahead.
Can't believe we didn't have a ticker that said how many minutes left till Soto comes up on the show.
The Soto counter.
I will keep it quite short because I want to hear from Grumpy. But look, yeah, what he said was stupid. What I will say in his defense in general is from the day he arrived in AEW, that guy's got abuse nearly every day. And the same with his partner. When Samantha left, same thing. They get a lot of stuff said at them. That doesn't give you the excuse to do things like he did. Like he was way out of pocket. There was, especially in what he was replying to, because compared to a lot of the stuff, it was very innocent. He did the right thing in apologizing. Could he have done it sooner? Probably. I've got no idea on the timeframes on this. By the time I saw it, like a lot of time had passed, so I don't know how quick it was kind of like an apology was issued. But regardless, he still said it. And like you say, if you've got a platform in whatever field you're in, if you've got a platform, you need to use it in the right way. He didn't. He let himself down. He let the company down. People have said, should he get fired? No, I don't think people should get fired for things like that. They should be punished, and whether that's a suspension, whether that's not sensibility training. What is it?
Sensitivity.
Sensitivity. That's the word. Stuff like that. Fine. Give him a fine. If that's what you want to do. He should face consequences for his actions, but I think firing somebody would go to is too far. But yeah, my last word on it, just be careful of what you say to people on social media in general. If you are not prepared to take fire, don't say stuff. I've learned that lesson. Many people have learned that lesson. So use your platform responsibly if you don't want to get your hand burned by the fire.
Grumpy.
Okay, so I've got two things to say. First of all, it goes without saying, I agree with you all about Ricochet's behavior. It was uncalled for, shouldn't have done it. He should be smarter than that. He should know better. He's got a lot to lose and he's got a lot to protect. You should know better, and you have to be accountable for your words. That being said, the people who are coming after him for this, with the death threats, threatening Samantha, these people don't give two fucking shits about anybody with MS. I'm going to say it right now. They don't care about MS. They don't care about this girl that he attacked. They don't give a fucking shit. Pardon my language. They just wanted an excuse to come at Ricochet like they've always been doing for the past year and a half. This was an opening that they saw to be shitty again, to make threats again, to make death threats. Are you fucking kidding me? Pardon my language again. But this just has gone way too far. Way too far. The people who have been up to this, the dorks who hide behind their screens, they think that they're safe in their anonymity. If they ever stepped out into the light and squared up to anybody, they'd get their fucking ass beat. They get knocked on their ass.
Andrew said the same thing.
These people don't have the stones it would take to say anything like this to somebody's face.
Keyboard warriors.
Least of all Ricochet, and least of all when Bishop Khan and Toa Leon are sitting next to Ricochet. So it's
They're a bunch of belly baddies.
If any of this was coming from any place of honesty about sensitivity towards people with MS or having personal experience with MS or family members with MS, that I wouldn't even say that'd be one thing because it's still not. But these people don't give two shits about that. They saw an opening, they saw an excuse to go back on the attack, and they took it. And that is bullshit.
Ryan, how about you? Or no, Hannibal.
I just want to very quickly what you just said at the end there. It's very true because there's been comparisons made about this and well, Brock Lesnar, Janelle Grant. The difference is in that situation is that people legitimately know who that woman is, or aware of that woman, and talk about that woman. The woman involved in this incident, no one has mentioned at all. And that to me is like the big difference. There's a performative element to it.
There's
distinct
virtue signaling, because no one is talking about the actual person that is being affected by it. I saw one person say they donated $10 to MS Fund and stuff like that. Again, performative. Were you doing that beforehand? Let me see the receipts and how many months go back to how many times you donated. You know what I mean? So, advocate, take it away.
So I just wanted to say, and not from everybody, obviously, but a lot of the Janelle Grant stuff is performative too. Like a lot of these people don't actually care. Like they just want to be like, oh, the company that I hate is in trouble and I want to root for their downfall, And it's like, this stuff is serious stuff. Like what Ricochet did, it ain't right. It's not right to talk about people's like diseases or disabilities or anything like that. I think that it was just, he's been this heel character, especially online, and I think he took it a little too far. From what I've heard from people who know him, like he's like one of the sweetest guys you ever met. I think that he puts on an act. Like I think it's the same thing as MJF. It's like when he's online, like he's a character. And I think the character took it a little too far this time. I'm really glad that he apologized. I don't think that it's representative of how he thinks or feels about people with MS, and like I said, I'm a fan of the guy, and hopefully, nothing like this ever happens again with him, and he learns to he knows now where the line is, or at least this line. So, if he's smart, he'll never cross it again.
Ryan, we'll let you close up on that, and then we'll get to our quick hits on Dynamite.
So, I know someone in the wrestling bubble that has a relative with MS and saw that tweet. And that person felt really, really off-put by it and was upset at the tweet. And I completely understand why, and I completely agree as to why. Right? If you're going to go at someone, there's certain things you don't touch. There's like, I always say, stay away from the low-hanging fruit. That's if you're going to engage with that person at all. There have been so many times in the collective where people have attacked, some of the members, and we're like, hey, let's be the bigger people here. Don't give them the light of day and ignore them, because that's how you stuff them out, is you don't give them oxygen. You don't give a mouse a cookie. But it's also like, I sort of get why Ricochet, responded, not the response, but responded, because as Hannibal said, the amount of stuff that he's gotten, that his wife Samantha's gotten, it's quite ridiculous and quite emblematic of how vile the internet and socials can be. And like another thing is, like, I saw what the woman said to what Ricochet responded. The punishment also doesn't fit the crime. Like what she said was very mild. I think it was, she had said that Ricochet.
But that's where we get into like, oh well, what she said wasn't that bad. Bad enough. Once you crack the door open.
Listen, if I called someone a bad actor, I don't want them to make.
Who are you to call them a bad actor? Do you have your SAG card?
I don't think he does either. But
yeah.
Have you taken a bump? Motherfucker, have you done a 450?
All I'm saying is, if you're saying something that's a little like, it's not like she was attacking at like a very hateful place. It's like, I don't really think the say.
I honestly don't know.
I'm glad you got MS. That's a little bit much.
She literally
said. What I'm saying is, like, the people that like say all the really, really hateful stuff.
But no. We can't do that. That's not fair. Because then you're telling people you can say stuff But just don't you could say that's like when I hate when people
Do you
say
give someone with petty theft 25 years in prison? No, but you give crimes that might be arguable for 25
but
years.
you know what? But you know, okay, I'm glad you said that because because that's a great, but I'm glad you said that because when you're
situations like this with nuance,
when you're lax on stuff like that, when you're lax on petty theft, that's when you got people, because there's hundreds of or maybe thousands of videos at this point of people walking into Walgreens, CVS, and not caring because they know they're not going to go to jail, because they know nothing's going to happen. So I'm just going to walk in and take this off the counter. I don't care if you're recording me because I know nothing's going to happen, because I know there's not going to be, I understand we can't go broken window theory, and it's very tough. And it's, and you're right. This causes a lot of nuance, right? There's so much, right? Because he, again, is not right in what he said. But we can't sit here and be like, well, just because what she said wasn't that bad, it's okay for her to say it. No.
Oh, no.
We're not saying that.
No. Yeah, I think what Grumpy, and correct me if I'm wrong, Grumpy.
I was saying come back with a milder response.
Yeah, of all the people he could have replied to at that kind of like level of effort or at that extreme length, that comment itself didn't warrant it. There was loads of comments that would have warranted something as extreme as that. That's not to say he couldn't have replied to her. But I think what Grumpy's saying is what she said didn't deserve the level of response back in comparison to some of the things that were being said to him by
which is people. Why I maintain that I believe, like I said, all of his tweets really, but especially like this one. Like, this is in character stuff. It's like, like he was going for a heat moment and it blew up, it backfired,
Yeah. I'm like the biggest defender of Ricochet playing online.
I was thinking he was trying to get heat. Like that time MJF told a person to kill themselves,
Ain't nobody say nothing about that.
Yeah, I wonder why. Nothing about that. I mean, that guy was a racist.
Why? I wonder why. Like let's just keep it a buck. If we're gonna go there, let's dig that hole. MJF told somebody to kill. I hope you killed him, and then ain't nobody wasn't no. Hey, what is WBD gonna do? Nothing like that. No, let's keep it a buck because y'all ain't gonna say it. I got the balls to do because he's a white man. He got away with it because he's a white man. Because he's a cis straight white man. There's a reason why he got away with it.
I said this to you yesterday privately. You're exactly right. Exactly.
And we agreed with you yesterday privately. You're 100% right.
And the reason why Trey Miguel and Ricochet are getting heat for the things that they have said either in the past or said out of a moment of poor decision making.
Why was Ronda Rousey's apology good enough, but not Trey Miguel's?
10 years after the fact, by the way.
10 years after the fact.
Well, people will say, well, because Ronda can make money. Sure. She also said some horrible things still. Because Trey can make you
transphobic stuff, school shooting denying.
But it doesn't matter, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, look at the state of the world at the moment, right? As long as you've got money and you're probably the right skin color, you can pretty much do whatever you want with no consequences. So
there was a whole island of people doing heinous stuff that decide the rules for us.
I'm gonna just go ahead and say it.
With all the money they got, they're like
us over here at the cookout, because Advocate, you invited, you brought the paper plate.
You brought the paper plate.
We like to say, they got some people got the complexion for protection, and I think unfortunately, when you pull up and look at Ricochet's hue, I don't think he has that now. Again. Because go back to the solo shot and what we're all saying, that does not excuse what Ricochet said. What he said, because Ryan, the only reason why I went, because what you're saying is right. And these are the type of conversations that need to be had, because you're right. Just because let the punishment fit the crime. She just said you were a bad wrestler, bro. She didn't attack your family. You should save that. He should have saved that for the people who are in his wife's DMs saying absolutely deplorable things. Save that for them, because if you say some of that to them, I guarantee you no one will be as angry. I guarantee you. So you're right on that, and I think we're all right. I think we're all a little bit wrong too, because this conversation has so much nuance, and it's a tough, difficult one. But I think we can all agree, and I think most people can agree, that regardless, when you have a platform such as Ricochet's, when you have a following such as Ricochet's, you have a certain responsibility to act with a certain, if not moral, but ethical code. So I think we can all, at the very least, kind of agree on that one. But to transition here, as some of our time is starting to go, we'll talk really quickly about Dynamite, because I do want to bring Soto up. Soto's been patiently waiting. So let's just talk from some of the highlights, because if you want to know what the collective kind of really thought, a lot of us were in Carlos's space last night on X, so definitely it's on recording, so check that out. A lot of us were in there, had some of our thoughts. Ryan, I'll start with you. I said it was a pretty boring show. What did you think, Ryan? Tell me some of your highlights really quickly, so we can get Soto up on here.
Highlights, the coffin match, to an extent, like the in-ring action, it was pretty solid. I think the way that it was but the way that they started, I think that was one of the wildest starts to a match we've seen. And we just came off of Revolution. We just came off that Texas death, and Darby was like, I think there's a way we can top it. And at the start, it was kind of crazy at the start, but then it sort of mellowed down.
Gabe Kidd falling out of the trunk was like something.
That was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It was such an awesome shot. That was amazing.
It was like a Hangover movie, I said.
Because it's just sitting there. It's like, oh. It got me laughing. Yeah. I mean, and you guys know I'm not the highest on Gabe Kidd, but that was pretty damn funny.
AEW each month. I wasn't a big fan of this how we got to this coffin match and whatnot.
2 years in Jacksonville.
2 years in Jacksonville. AEW each month.
They're getting that pay your dues booking.
I'm not how we got here was, it was funny, it was cool, some good moments, but personally, I'm just, I felt, again, it was one of the marquee indicators for me. This show just was kind of just mid, a chloroform spot. We're doing chloroform spots, really?
It's not Darby's first time.
I know, but here's the thing: as a person who knows how chloroform works, and that's not it. By the way,
they've done it better.
Chloroform does not work like that. You cannot put it on a column. It doesn't work like that. But you know why? Because you'll die. Because you will die doing it. I promise you, you will die or get very, very sick before you pass out.
Do not try this at home.
Yeah, I think one of the funniest things from Carlos's space last night was Sean going into great detail about exactly why he knows that as well.
Oh, okay. Go back and re-listen on that one. I
missed that part. I was like, what? What shot?
I missed that part. But no, I
you used it before?
Hannibal, we'll go to you quickly. Again, quick notes on Dynamite. What were your highlights?
Just an average show. Just an average show. I thought the end segment was really good. Just because it set up a lot of things for the future, right? It kind of told a story of, not that you needed to tell too much of it, but you got 3 of the world's best tag teams in history that are now going to be kind of jostling with each other over the next few months. Exciting stuff. Good to see Ospreay back. Not at all excited by the prospect that they might be running back the Darby Death Riders thing from a year ago. Hopefully I'm wrong and it's just like a red herring. But yeah, the matches were fine. The promos were good. It just didn't feel like a great episode of Dynamite. Collision looks like it's got some good matches, but to be honest, Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland next week, give me that for dinner. But yeah, it was a bit of a dance squib. Don't go out of your way to watch this episode of Dynamite, but check out next week's because it looks banging.
Check out the start of the Darby Gabe Kidd Coffin match. The start of it.
Yeah,
it's fine. It was yeah.
And there were some good matches overall too.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was who put in the comments. Like Speedball, Mark Davis was very good. I really loved the Swerve segment where it's like, oh, like what he's after right now is power instead of titles. So like the idea that he's going after Kenny Omega's EVP status, I think, is a very cool storytelling device.
Except that
You know what that segment reminded me of?
Year.
Yeah, but no, he did not take just took it away from the Bucks. He didn't give it to himself. So
you know what
I'm
that
like,
segment reminded me of?
actually trying to gain like power and influence in AEW. I thought that the way that they shot that angle, like the way that it like faded out into the Speedball promo, there were some cool ideas on this show. It just, as it functioned, it pace was weird. The crowd was bad.
Advocate, you know what it reminded me of though? That segment.
Yeah.
You remember in the pandemic when Edge would cut those promos in the chair, just like looking like right into the camera with the light. That's what it really reminded me of.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I've never heard of this before. That's the greatest no sell I've ever seen.
COVID flashback.
Better than Hayabusa.
Wait, Edge was back in WWE?
That's 2020.
Sorry, I knew that much.
Grumpy, tell me I know you talked about it a lot last night, but tell me what you thought about
a lot of what happened, a lot of what I saw from Dynamite was stuff that happened between the lines and between the matches. Especially I want to talk about the Don Callis family. That's kind of my wheelhouse. They've got a lot going on right now because John Cruz pulls up with a briefcase full of money for Andrade, and Don Callis is on the phone, who, by the way, not even a man enough to face Andrade face to face. So this is the second time that Don Callis has been asked pointedly, why are we working with MJF? Kyle asked him last week. Andrade asked him last night. So Don's got things going on that he's not telling his guys. Takeshita is already, disenfranchised with the family. And then he lost a big match. But, he definitely turned away from the Don Callis heel roots when he shook Moxley's hand after the defeat. And then what does Takeshita do? Or Okada do? What does Okada do? He goes on TV and he cuts a promo basically saying Takeshita sucks. He's still got no belts. He's got no friends. So the Don Callis family is just fracturing. It's starting to fracture, I think. It's not fully fracturing yet, but it's starting to fracture. And never forget that Don Callis's two white whales are back in good wrestling shape, Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, because they are the first two who have ever defied Don, told him where he could stick it, and left the family. And anytime Kenny Omega is around, anytime Will Ospreay is around, Don gets blinders for those two guys and just wants to see them suffer and be miserable and in pain. So there's just so many different irons in the fire around the family that that's what I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in the next 3 months with them.
Well, like I said, this is a pretty mid, pretty all right Dynamite, but we had a pretty busy weekend, though. Probably one of the busiest, if you're paying attention. Grumpy, you and I went to go visit the Blank Screen here in the Advocate over in Cali to go to Revolution. We were not alone, so there he is.
All right, somebody came to the door. I didn't want to go out.
No, yeah, you're good. But we are going to now bring in a fellow collective member, Queens Road host Soto. It's going to share to join in and talk to us about some of the experience that we all had at Revolution. It was such a great show. Soto, hello. Welcome to the Collective Weekly. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing all right. I'm still a little tired from my trip because my flights always get delayed, but I'm doing good.
Did it get delayed by 21 hours?
No, not this time, but all in it was.
Yeah. Not this time. Well, as you know, let's talk about Revolution as we were there. The experience of just being in the building. I'll go ahead and start off and tell you guys it was the energy inside the building was just so electric and so amazing. There was not like a dull moment, or there was a dull moment. but just you could still feel
The
just
women's tag team title match.
yeah,
with
you can
Oba.
still feel the excitement for most of every match, the returns, the big shocking moment of having Ospreay come back, because I don't think anybody had that pinned. But being just at the arena in the building was great. So I ask you guys, that was, first I'll go to the people who are at home, and then I want to go to the people who are there. Was it, for the people at home, would you say this was worth the price that you paid to watch at home?
If you're going to be first, yes, because my AEW baby, $17 for that on TV. No, I mean, yeah, look, it was a good show. I was watching it with Tay in the space and Graps separately. We watched it together separately as a family, but I tapped out at the 6-man tag before the main event, because at that point it was 3:30 in the morning for me, and I was like, I've had enough for tonight, and I had to watch the next bit the next day. So I mean, it was a great show overall. Nearly every match was great or excellent, except for I wasn't really that keen on the Orange Cassidy 6-man, but everything else was really enjoyable. And yeah, I mean, I got my money's worth and some great action. It was a great way for AEW to start their pay-per-view year. It's just a shame we got the Dynamite that followed afterwards, because that's always, I always feel like the pay-per-views are what kind of like drag people back that may have lapsed for a little bit. They kind of tune into the pay-per-view and go, oh, okay, I'm liking this. And that Dynamite wasn't a good follow-up. But, it is what it is. But the show was great.
If only they can nail that,
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what did you think watching at home? How was the show?
So I ended up missing the first about an hour or so of the pay-per-view. So I didn't get to see the Bucks tag. Listen, it wasn't my fault.
You missed Big Boom AJ? Thought you was a real fan.
No, that was pre-show. I got that on my phone. We bring the boom, brother. 5 big booms. Sorry your brother passed. But from what I was able to see from that show, fuck, I keep popping myself. But no, it was a great pay-per-view. Some of the booking decisions surprised me. Like, I didn't expect Takeshita to lose. That was his 5th unsuccessful title opportunity within the past 6 months, and it looks like this one on Collision might be his 6th. Like there were some losses I didn't expect. I didn't expect the dogs to get the pay your dues booking, as we're calling it. But the action was great. I didn't feel like it was as long of the tooth because I wasn't able to see that first hour. The main event, probably one of my favorite Hangman matches, one of my favorite MJF matches. Unlike Jordan, I love gratuitous violence. I love to see the red gushers and the skewers and the light tubes and people wrapping their fists with the glass like it's a Taipei. Like, I love that. That's right up my alley. So this show delivered 100% for me.
Well, I'll tell you again, in the building, absolutely amazing. I'll start off with you, Soto. How did you feel about the show? How was your view from your seat? How did you feel being in the building?
This was incredibly, incredibly special to me. Every time I see wrestling live, I've become more grateful for this, but this just felt so different since I've been wanting to go to Los Angeles for so long. And I mean, maybe it's just the way I watch wrestling live. I get so locked in, but I was able to tune the crowd was electric, like you said, but I was able to tune everything out and really, really focus on the matches. And I've seen so much wrestling live, but this is up there in my top 3 events that I've ever been to. That could also be the sentimental value I hold for it. But overall, there was really nothing on this card that upset me. That I had a lot of fun during everything, whether I disagree with the booking decisions, the wins, the losses. It just was super special. So I was able to tune those things out and really just like, I don't know, be a simple fan for the night. My favorite match on the card, of course, the Bucks match.
No
I thought-
way.
Well,
No.
Fortune Kitchen.
What?
Who would
I
have
thought you
thought
hated the
that? The person
Who would
with
have
the
thought
young bucks.
that
Oh my
Soto
God.
right here would have joined the Bucks match?
Who would have thought that?
I think it was pretty neat that at first I was like, why is it so early on the card? But then like the longer a couple of days I've had to think about it, I'm like, this was like so special for them because they've always wanted to. They've never wrestled here. They've never wrestled the Staples Center. It's called the Staples Center. It's not the Crypto.com arena. I'm not calling it that. But like that was really special. And I was in like the 300s, but I had the front row. So I had plenty of room to stand up, to move. I didn't have anybody sitting in front of me. We had a really great shot of the ring. It was like off to the left a little bit compared to where I know y'all were at. But like I got some nice pictures. I had a lot of fun. And this is a really nice arena too.
Yes, it was. Crypto is a absolutely beautiful arena. You weren't too far away from us, I don't think. So I think we all had still very, very good seats. It was not a really bad seat in the house. Advocate, I'll start with you. What did you think of the show? How did you feel, being in the building and whatnot?
I loved it. I was very happy. My friend Evan always brings throat lozenges with him. I had to take a couple of those because I was very hoarse afterwards and for some days afterwards. I absolutely lost my mind. We had great seats. We were we were in the middle deck, like dead ahead to the entrance. So you could see, sometimes the lights would be flashing a little bit too much in our eyes. That was like the only critique I really had of our seats. But in general, I thought we had a great view of the action. And I like that they have the big screens there because the other AEW
big screen helped. Yeah, you got to watch that. For those little minute details.
Exactly, and you can kind of go back and forth. Like when they're in a place that you don't have a good view of, then I would look up at the big screen. But when we went to AEW at the Forum, they didn't have that screen. So if you couldn't see the stage, then you couldn't see what they were showing on the screens, which I couldn't at Full Gear because I was like right next to it. So yeah, I thought the seats were great. Obviously, my favorite match of the night was Mox versus Takeshita, even though, like Soto, I didn't agree with the result. I really thought it was going to go Takeshita's way, but just really left it all in the ring. And the finish of that match, I thought, was so well done with Mox trapping the arms and everything, and Takeshita still trying to reach to the rope with his foot with his, last breath. I can't call it a star-making performance because Takeshita's been a star for the last 3 years as far as I'm concerned. This guy does not miss. And Mox was in great form, Sometimes he does miss, but on Revolution he didn't.
Grumpy, again, this was our sixth show that we've been to together? Sixth? Something like that, seventh?
Yeah, at least, man. Yeah, pretty close there.
What did you think? Yeah, how did you feel?
Well, this one was special for me because you guys, as you all know, I did bring my daughter with me. She had never been to a wrestling show. She never even really watched wrestling. So about a month ago, when I started putting two and two together, that Revolution was going to be in LA, and I could use the opportunity to visit her and visit some of my family. I asked her, "Hey, if I went to this wrestling thing, would you want to come with me?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure, okay, why not?"
Grumpy, so, I just need to stop you there, and just to clarify for everyone that doesn't know you, because I don't want anyone trying to contact CPS on you. Can you just let everyone know how old your daughter is?
Okay, she is 18, so I did not bring a small child to a Texas death match.
People did though. There was a legit 2-year-old behind us.
There was. That was kind of funny.
And that was their responsibility as parents, and they did it responsibly.
So
they seemed like great parents. They seemed like very nice people.
Very great parents.
So so she was down to try it, and which was great. I showed her a little bit of Dynamite before and a little bit of Collision before the show, so she was introduced to some of the wrestlers. She really likes Tekla. Tekla's kind of fits in her vibe, her aesthetics, so she loves Tekla, which is awesome. But I was kind of watching the match. I was watching the matches and watching her watch the matches, and she was really into it, and it made me so happy that she was into it and wasn't just having a bad time, wasn't just waiting for it to end. I was emotionally invested in so many things. I was jumping out of my seat, screaming, like I usually do when I go live. And she got emotionally invested. She got emotionally invested, especially in the Maxwell Jacob Funk match, where she's asking me, "What are they doing? What are they doing? Oh my God, they're using glass." Really funny story. I've told it a couple times now, but about halfway through that match, she asked me, What can they still do? What do they have left to do? They've done everything. And I turned to her and I go, well, they haven't brought out the thumbtacks yet. And she looks at me astonished and asks me how I could say something like that so casually. It was hilarious.
AEW.
Yeah.
You've been desensitized. You've been indoctrinated.
So the whole day was so great for me because I saw all you guys. We had a great time. She had a great time, which made me not feel bad about dragging her to a place she didn't want to be. It couldn't have gone any better. And it was one of the greatest weekends that I've had. So.
Yes. I mean, it was absolutely one of the greatest weekends. Like I said, I got to meet Soto in person, which was great. I got to meet Advocate in person. Also great. A really, really great show. Let's start and let's go to something that was a little bit more controversial. It seems to be a little bit less controversial because they've done it again. They're doing it often, but that is this Texas Death Match, the syringe spot. We don't have to talk about the specifics of the match. Let's talk about the kind of the outcome. Hangman Page is no longer allowed to challenge for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And Soto, I'll start with you as our lead guest. What did you think of the result of our main event from Revolution?
As much, I was disappointed at first because anyone that knows me knows I'm a huge Hangman fan. I'm very invested in the story that he's told over his time in AEW, and I really wanted him to win. But the couple days that I've had to sit with it, I think there's a lot of really cool avenues that they're able to go. And with Hangman, his journey has never been linear. It's been up and down and all around. And there's so much more left for him to do. So I'm waiting out to see. I think he's going to be out for a while, and he's going to come back, and there's going to be maybe some type of reinvention for him, or he might go down another avenue because I think eventually he's going to be able to revisit this. I don't think he necessarily needs to. I've seen a lot of people mention this. He needs to go back on his word and turn heel. I don't exactly think that needs to happen. He doesn't need to turn to go back on his word because a lot of the time baby faces are not the smartest individuals, and that feels it could go either way. But something that a face might do is going back on their word, doing something stupid. So I think once I have a little bit more details, I'm able to fully predict, what avenue are they going to go in? But for right now, I think I sit with excitement because I'm always excited to see what Hangman does. He's one of the more complex characters. I will say this till I'm blue in the face. I think that Hangman is the best storyteller in AEW, and he has only gotten better at it. So I think this is just another unique challenge for him to take on. And I have no idea what that's going to look like. And sometimes I don't want my wrestling to be I'm being able to predict it. So super excited.
So I want to just ask you a question, just because it was something that me and Andrew talked about last night in my space. But I think we were in agreement, Hangman's going to be away for a while. Mm-hmm. When do you think we'll see Hangman again? Because for me, I think it would be awesome to not see Hangman again until All In. But I don't think I'll wait that long.
I have to agree. I don't think he comes back at All In. I'd say before All In. Sometime before All In, maybe Double or Nothing, because he won the Owen there last year. So maybe that, or I'm not sure. I don't think he's going to be in the Owen.
I got him coming. Honestly, I got Hangman not showing up again until Wembley. I think it's Yeah, I think all the way to All In. I think that's one of the best ways to kind of not even play it off, but like really play into, not even play into that he can't, challenge for the title, and he's got to figure out and got to do something else and use all of this time away to really, get whatever it is, So I don't think he should show back up until, like I said, All In, Wembley.
Maybe we can see those vignettes again when he was like in his garden and in the forest, like, just admiring all the flowers.
I like
Something.
Let's
that.
repeat that on television, man.
Right. Advocate, I'll go to you. What did you think of the main event, and the fallout from it?
Well, you guys were there. I think after the main event, I kind of sat in silence for a little bit.
You did. You did. A little bit of shock.
My biggest fear from this, like going in, was sort of the implication that Hangman loses. Like, what does that mean? Like, does he stay with AEW after his contract runs out? But like, now that I've been reflecting on it, and I saw a great video, I wanted to shout the guy out because he's a small YouTube channel. I just found it by like accident, but his name was Mike Funnyboy, and he did this great video where he was talking about like why Hangman needed to lose this match and how this was the only way for him to break the chain of redemption.
Oh, was this the video where it was like break the cycle?
Yes, exactly. Did you see that one too?
I haven't seen it yet, but that popped up on my algorithm.
It was a great video. But I kind of see that for Hangman too. It's like, who is he without the world title? Without the chase of the world title. Like, this has been his defining characteristic since the day that AEW started, since he went out on that podium and he said, I'm going to be your first world champion. And I'm really excited to see like what they try and like what's going to come of this, like who he is and like what kind of stories that he can tell without the world title. So I don't know. Like I said, in the moment I was very upset about it, but now I'm cautiously optimistic.
Well, Grumpy. Again, you were there. You've had a couple of takes as far as where Hangman can go. So what do you now? You've had that take before. Now that being there, seeing the match, I would like to see what you think still now. Do you still think he could have a possibility of going after? I think you said it was the Continental.
I think so. So there's a quote that I'm gonna steal from Fight Club. It's only when you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. The problem with Hangman is that whenever he's around, he's expected to be in the title picture. And that title picture is very crowded right now. Swerve, Kenny, MJF, Brodito's still lurking around. Don Callis is lurking around. Andrade wants that title. That title scene is very congested. You have found the perfect way to pluck Hangman out of that situation, open up that field a little bit, and now you have a very good reason why Hangman does not have to be in the title picture. Hangman is not expected to be in the title picture because he literally can't. Okay, that's fine. You have an excuse why he's not chasing the title. So now he's free to do anything else. He can go anywhere. He can feud with anybody. He can revisit old relationships. He can go after other belts. And people aren't going to sit here and say, well, he should be in the world title scene. Why is Hangman going after the secondary belt? Now you have your reason why. And I have been saying that the unified belt, the unified title, does not have a large field of competitors at all. Okada holds one half of the belt. Mox holds the other half of the belt. Those are the only two people who are in any way, shape, or form related to the unified belt right now. And a big name going after reuniting those titles, I think, is what's really needed. Someone who, is going to remind the company that those belts go together. They're part of a larger set, and it's time to bring that back. Because, I think that would be a really cool, year-long quest for Hangman to reunite the belts and accomplish it at All In next year. Not this summer, but next year.
Hannibal, what do you
even the idea of with Swerve, You know, like let's say, I don't know what's going to happen next week. Let's say Swerve beats Kenny and he's like the EVP. And then it's like with the Young Bucks abusing his power, like maybe Hangman has to be the one to stop it. You know, like there's like a goal. It's like Swerve said on Dynamite. It's like, oh, there's more things than just belts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that there's more stories for him to tell, and about like sort of like being almost like AEW's Guardian Angel, you know, like the way that Sting used to be. He's like, oh, like I'm here to right the ship, you know, when things go awry. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of options.
Oh yeah.
I believe it was you, Hannibal, who had a pretty interesting take on this as well, on what Hangman can possibly do. I think you said some things in the in Light the Fuse. Yeah.
I did in my space, and I cannot wait for Hangman and John Silver and you know, to win the trios. No, I mean, look, it's an option. Go back to the Dark Order, right? No, I mean, what was interesting? There were two things that, you know, post match that I thought about. First, was one that Tony Khan said, which was it's a verbal agreement, right? So it's not contracted. It's like Cody's. It was verbal. Now Cody held up his end of that verbal agreement, right? But it was a verbal agreement. He could have broken it if he really wanted to. But the other thing as well is that he can't challenge for the title. He can't challenge for the title. But there's nothing to stop someone challenging him for the title. So Ryan, me and WrestleFish talks about this on Like the Fuse. His version of this is that, you know, Hangman does something really heinous to basically force whoever is world champion to challenge him for the belt. For me, it's the other way around. It's that, you know, you have a champion who has kind of like gone through the people at the top and is then like, I'm going to give you an opportunity because you've done enough here to deserve an opportunity at winning this title, and this is the only way you're going to win it, and that would be a whole story in itself. But look, the thing that I was surprised by the result, but the thing that I also said is that it basically gives you another empty slot at the top of the card, right? If Hangman's not there going to be able to challenge for that world title, that's a spot for somebody else that hasn't had the opportunity or has had that opportunity and, you know, needs to climb back up and reclaim that spot. So I'm excited to see what's going to come next. And as Solo said, Hangman has always been a wrestler who their story outside of the title picture is more exciting than them actually being the champion, the thrill of the chase and everything they do around it. So for that reason, more than anything else, I'm excited. If this was any other wrestler, I'd be a bit more concerned. But Hangman, there's so many things to that character, you don't have to worry about him not going after the world title for a while. I think it'll be a good thing for both him and the company at large.
Ryan, what did you think of this fallout?
I think I was shocked by the finish. I was like, oh my God, they did it, but more of, oh my God, they actually did it. And I understand where everyone was pessimistic going into it, and sort of, you know, it's like, why as a babyface or as a wrestler would you put yourself in that position? But the more I think about it, the more of I realize what they're trying to do here as a weekly television product is build drama, build intrigue, and capture your attention. And putting Hangman in these confines, you know, permanently, and I use the air quotes here, captures your attention because it's like, oh, what's he gonna do now? And as a viewer, that intrigues me. But then as sort of a quote smart fan, and I once again quotes, it's also like we all have this sort of underlying belief of how is he gonna break his word? How is he not going to Cody himself, as we'd like to put it? And this is a situation where I think, to Soto's point, Hangman is a great storyteller. And I think some of his stories, and one of them involving the chase, and like his character, he's had some of the most nuanced stories at points, the most nuanced character on the product. And I think this is going to be another one of those stories when it comes to how he breaks his word. There's going to be a lot of nuance involved. And I'm really intrigued as to how we see that. Whether he goes after another title. I would prefer if he doesn't go after any other championships. I think that would, differentiate him from Cody. Whereas when Cody put the stipulation on himself, I can't challenge for the world title. I'm going to make the TNT title. Hangman, if he doesn't go after any championships and focus only on personal grudges and programs with other wrestlers that don't involve the championship, I think that would be very intriguing to see. Because, yes, Hangman's great on the title chase, but what can you do outside of a title chase? And I think he'll be able to prove that to the fans. So, while Grumpy, I like your idea of him going after the Continental or the International and making the Unified. I think it would serve to Hangman's strength to avoid that.
And also, that's still my guy, Takeshita. I haven't lost faith that he's going to unify.
Even though he's been losing every single title match for the past 6 months.
Shut up, man. You like LA.
It's unfortunate. Listen, I agree with you. It's unfortunate.
Well,
they're treating him like LA Knight.
As we're going to get into some of the close here, I want Soto to lead us off. Tell me some of the fun parts of your weekend, some of the highlights of just your trip and whatnot going down to California or to California.
So I have two things. The first, I got to see some independent wrestling, and it made me feel. It's one of the first things that made me feel a lot closer to the Young Bucks, because this is where they came up. I saw Millennium Pro Wrestling. And it was a smaller show. I'd heard about it. I'd watched it. My friend Winnie works there, and it was so cool. I got to check off another place I've seen wrestling/independent wrestling at. So I thought that was very cool. And then I visited Rancho Cucamonga, and it's one of the most gorgeous cities that I've ever seen. The people are nice. It's surrounded by mountains. It's very flat, so I felt at home because I live in Ohio. It's very flat here. I understand the Bucks on such a different level now. They gave me suggestions to check out what the locals do, and I recognized things from being the elite, so that I was very, very, very fortunate to be able to experience that. And I will recommend, if anybody's ever looking to do something inland, closer inland in LA, I definitely recommend Rancho Cucamonga. Very, very blessed to be able to do that.
Going to Rancho Cucamonga was like Soto going to the Holy Land.
It was like my Mecca. I did my Rancho pilgrimage finally.
It's like if Nathan Frazier went to the Vatican.
Grumpy, what would you say if you had? Did you have a highlight of your traveling weekend?
Outside of wrestling, what we did on Saturday is Advocate Slick and I met at a comic book store, and Slick turned me on to this Absolute Batman, which they had volume 2 at the store, and I wanted to start with volume 1, so I immediately ordered it on Amazon, and it was here waiting for me when I got home. And I've been reading this. I love Batman, and I did not know about this. It is
so good.
Amazing.
It's so good, bro.
I literally put it on my wish list, volumes 1 and 2 the other day. So that's really funny timing.
So that's funny.
I was actually, while we were at the comic book store, I was hunting for more of this. I was looking for volume 2, but I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? So it's funny that you talk about that.
Yeah, so we were looking for the DC AEW crossover. They didn't have it, but yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot.
I actually picked up the DC AEW crossover at another shop in Santa Clarita. I got the Hangman cover. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Very cool.
Which shop did you get it from, Soto?
I forget what it's called, but it's like they rent out spaces for people.
Oh, I know where it's at. Yeah. My wife's physical therapy was over there in that same plaza.
Yeah, it was very cool.
This is far too local for my liking.
Yeah. But no, I'll say for me, one of my personal just highlight was there is the moment that I pull up, we get to crypto. I got to take my Kobe statue picture, of course, got to see all the other statues. That was great. Literally, they start the line and we're second in line. Like literally, we're second in line. And right as that moment, JJ comes up, and then Soto wasn't too far behind. Then Advocate comes in. We all kind of convene at one time, and it was beautiful. I loved it. That was such a great moment for me because as we're getting ready to close here, for those who don't know, Advocate and I, Advocate and Ryan here, have been doing this for about a year now. Hannibal and Grumpy, they came on as well, but it's for us who started this, I never thought the day that we would meet each other, see each other, go to a wrestling show, and we did it. And so for me, that was just
February 5th, 2025.
Yeah. So it was a great time. The show was amazing. California, you treated me well. I'll just say this as far as when it comes to traveling, buy it nice or buy it twice, because that's exactly what I did. I was crossing PWG land. But no, it was a great experience. I tell everybody, I'm glad we could end on this. Make friends. Go to wrestling shows with your friends. Meet your friends. Make connections. You never know when this stuff or where the stuff will go. Soto was so kind making us bracelets, which I immediately destroyed.
It exploded, but it's okay.
It exploded. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad about that. But
it was compromised to a permanent end.
But I implore everybody to go to a show. If it's your local indie, save up to go to that big show. Meet your friends, go buy that plane ticket. These are everybody here. These are friendships that are going to last a very long time. I love each and every one of you. I thank all of you. This is fun. This is great. I can't wait till we do the next one. I don't know where it'll be, but I'm pretty sure we'll have another collective link up soon. I want to thank you for coming on, sharing a little bit about your Revolution experience. I want you guys to be on the lookout, as Soto is one of the hosts of Queens Road, our once a month podcast dedicated to all women's wrestling. It's our most viewed stuff. Let's be honest. Y'all know what it is.
It's our cash cow. It's our draw.
It's the Raw to WrestleCollective Weekly SmackDown.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
They say that women are the draw.
NXT.
Right?
I can't believe we have you guys on part-time. You're supposed to be our top baby face. Make us money.
But that's what I'm saying. They're so good that they're part-timers. They got the Roman schedule.
They got the Roman treat. That's what I'm talking about.
I got the Kenny Omega schedule.
Kenny Omega, you know what I mean? Yes. So definitely you can check out more of Soto on Queens Road. You can check out more of Hannibal here on Wrestling with Tism every Monday. And for those who don't know, if you ever want to be a part of this, if you ever find yourself wanting to be on camera, joining in the conversation, talking some wrestling, Wrestling with Tism every single Monday is the place to do that. How do you do that? You gotta be subscribed to the channel, and you gotta hit that notification bell. You get those two things, you can come onto the show very easily every single Monday. Wrestling with Tism. That's James Hebert,
and he can't be BSing us. We will be checking.
And also, I just want to point out it'll be the 1 year anniversary of myself, of James, of WrestleFish doing our first episode of Wrestling with Tism on Monday. So it's a big episode. We're not doing anything for it, but still 1 year anniversary.
Yes. So definitely check them out. And of course, here, WrestleCollective Weekly, here every single Thursday. But that is going to do it for us, you guys. We will be back next week. That's it. Yeah. Well, you guys take care. Be safe. We'll be see you guys next week. Be on the lookout. We'll probably have another game show coming up soon. Shopwc.com. We got some more merch on the way, as you know. Follow everybody. Yeah, that's it. You guys be safe.
Peace.
CM Punk, put the belt back on Roman.
Ladies and gents, thanks for stopping by. And until next time, this is the Wrestle Collective.